Ich habe mir letztens die Speeches vom Online Summit 2020 angeschaut. Da waren über 20.000 Teilnehmer dabei und habe mir gedacht, die sind fürs Hier und Jetzt doch mindestens genauso relevant wie zu dem Zeitpunkt, als wir das Online Summit letztes Jahr haben stattfinden lassen. Deswegen haben wir uns gedacht, für euch, unsere YouTube-Community, gibt es jetzt alle Speeches vom Online Summit 2020 kostenfrei zum Anschauen. Deswegen viel Spaß dabei.
He created a hip-hop empire in the heart of Atlanta. Everything he touched was big. Grammys, platinum records, clothing lines, parties. His CEO grind made him a millionaire. You might have thought that I was talking about multi-platinum recording artist 2 Chainz. What if I was to tell you I was actually talking about this guy?
Finally tonight, America Strong, the man whose own ups and downs have inspired him to lift up others. Here's ABC's John Donvan.
I'm in a dumpster.
And who is this guy?
Meet Charlie, the man responsible for much of today's Atlanta hip-hop culture.
Which other hip-hop artist or true entrepreneur in this digital era?
I think the guy to pay attention to is a guy by the name of CEO Charlie.
That is Charlie Jabbely.
Charlie Jabbely. This is Charlie. Good morning to you, Charlie.
Good morning. Take a look at this man's transformation right here. Went from that to that.
Charlie Jabbely is a millionaire music mogul who walked away from his career to pursue his unrealistic dream of becoming an athlete.
The bigger my business got, the bigger I got. Inside, I was very depressed. I was sick, over 300 pounds, and diagnosed with a brain tumor. But I knew that everything had to change in my life if I was going to live.
Sick and weighing over 300 pounds, Charlie decided to turn his life around. He retired from the music industry at the age of 29, moved from Atlanta to California, became vegan, and focused all his energy on becoming a full-time athlete. His transformation story went viral, even getting a retweet from Nike with the company motto, "If you have a body, you're an athlete." They even invited him to their headquarters and continue to support him to this day. At this point, he had completed 4 marathons, but his ultimate athletic achievement was completing a full Ironman in New Zealand. With time running out and fighting disqualification, he managed to finish the race with 19 minutes left on the clock. A huge achievement for someone who just 1 year ago weighed over 300 pounds.
CEO Charlie.
With his transformation story going global, he officially retired the nickname CEO Charlie and took on a new persona.
Charlie Rocket.
Charlie Rocket turned the finish line of Nike's 10K into the starting line for his Vero-sponsored Dream Machine Tour, biking across America on a mission to transform 1 million people's lives.
But when I became a millionaire, I realized I wasn't fulfilled. I realized that when I gave, I felt the happiest. So I decided I wanted to become a different type of millionaire, the type that transforms 1 million people's lives.
Can you please talk about our guest today for First Aid?
Yes, I introduced our guest, Charlie Jabbely, a.k.a. Charlie Rockets. You know, this is a story of inspiration.
And a Valley teacher is about to have an amazing wish granted, and this is a big surprise. So let's get to Celeste.
Guys, this is Charlie. Remember him from the 6 o'clock hour.
We are completely paying off your mortgage. Yes, you read that right.
Guy jumps out of dumpster to surprise girl with a car at Starbucks.
I'm currently in a dumpster. It is very hot.
Fiona! Surprise! I heard that when you go to college, you don't have a way to get to work, so I wanted to buy you a car.
When everything was ripped away from me, I'm diagnosed with my brain tumor, I'm facing death, we're getting shot at, we're on the news, the city's trying to shut down. I asked myself a question. What is my dream? What is my purpose? I want to be an athlete. That was it.
Charlie has been motivating people all over the country, speaking live at events with lines around the block ever since his days as CEO Charlie.
Nobody has ever seen anything like this before.
His transformation story from a millionaire music mogul to a Nike athlete changing other people's lives has gotten national media attention and continues to inspire others to make positive change.
Charlie Rocket is on the cover of Runner's World magazine.
fans come from all walks of life, and his story resonates beyond culture, touching all kinds of people from every background.
Keep the pistol on my sleeve.
Wow, what a great story. So now we are connected with Charlie Rocket in LA. Charlie, yay!
What's up?
There you are. How are you doing, man?
I'm on a winning streak, man. How are you?
I'm perfect. To seeing you now, it's a great finale that we have. So last year you've been here to Germany on the stage of the Founder Summit. So just tell us, what was your impression of the event?
Oh my goodness. It was magical. The energy, everybody was so beautiful and nice. And one thing that I really noticed is how like healthy and like positive minded everybody was. It was really one of the best days of my life. That to this day, I've spoke all over the world. That was that was top 2, top 3 best speaking engagements I've ever done.
Great to hear. Thank you so much.
I love y'all's community.
So you're standing in front of a sign, or it is your bus, right? Because it's a dream machine, and you are touring right now through the US, right?
Yeah. Yes, this is my bus. I'll show you guys. So this is the dream machine, and right now I have decided to, cause you know, like there's a lot of negative going on right now in the world. And there's a lot of dreams slipping away from all of us. Our dreams are like, maybe this is maybe the worst time of our lives. Like our grandparents went through the Great Depression, but this is scary. And we get to make a decision at this point in our life, like who we're going to be. And I told myself, it's like when times are really dark, it's the opportunity for the light to shine. And the light is really needed when it's dark. And I said, you know what? I'm going to move out of my house. I'm going to move into the dream machine. And I'm going to go all across America helping people's dreams come true. And also like teaching people how to dream. And like the science of dreams and the mindset and the practices that I do every single day to dream. So right now is day 3 of the tour. I just got to Utah. It's really the middle of nowhere. And man, it's beautiful though. It's beautiful because people want to be happy right now. And people want to unlock, because we all see people, like we see people doing good and then we see people doing bad right now. And there's a lot of both. Like, and sometimes in situations like this, we got to realize like we're going to remember this forever. Like, it's kind of like when, like in America, when 9/11 happened, we remember where we were, and it'll be a memory forever. In this moment right now, and for all of us as entrepreneurs, and as entrepreneurs, we're really creators. Like, that's what an entrepreneur is, somebody who creates. Like, we're almost like artists, like it's our form of creativity. And in this moment of time, we get to create the story that we're going to remember forever. Like, there's not too many days in our lives that we'll remember forever. For example, if I were to ask, somebody out to a lunch meeting, and we were to just go to a coffee shop, might not remember that. But if I were to ask somebody for a lunch meeting and we were to hike up a mountain and make a picnic and like talk about our business on top of a mountain or something beautiful, we would remember that forever. And it's very important for us right now to write the script for what we are going through right now, because we can write it. This situation is going to bring out either the best in us or the worst in us. And that's what I actually wanted to talk to you guys about today, and what this speech is. Like, I've been through some very dark times in my life, and I was able to figure out how to reconnect with my dreams, but also reconnect with magic. And when I say magic, I mean, like, there's two forms of me as an entrepreneur. So there was the linear form, and that's 1 + 1 = 2. That's like me. I'm going to wake up earlier, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to put in more time, and then I'll get 2. So 1 + 1 = 2. And then there's a different type of entrepreneur in me, and that's like the dreamer. It's where, like, I want miracles and I want magic, and that's 1 + 1 = 1,000. And I've done both in my life, and the first part of my entrepreneur journey was 1 + 1 = 2. But now I'm seeing so much magic, and I started learning about the magic and the frequencies and the energy and the law of attraction and the quantum physics. And so I want to talk to you guys today about the science of dreams. And when I say dreams, I don't mean like sleeping. I mean like the dreams that are in our heart. When our heart wants something, it feels like this bus. It's like colorful, and there's rocket ships, and it just is so colorful. But then when our mind kicks in, it feels real dark, because our mind will, be like, oh, you should be more realistic. Or, oh, how are you going to do that? Or what are people going to say? That's all our mind, but our heart is so colorful and fun, and our heart just wants to sing. And if I were to say to you guys right now, follow your, you might say heart, you might say dreams, but you would not say brain. That's weird. Follow your brain? No. So I'm going to talk today about the heart, and the power of the heart, and the science of the heart, and how the human heart and how the human DNA has an effect on the world around us, proven by modern science. Quantum physics has proven that we are not observing this universe, but the fact of our observation, we are creating what's happening in the universe without us even realizing it. And that's what they call the law of attraction. Now, one of the main things that I've done, and from that video that you guys watched, you're like, oh wow, he's done a lot. I'm 32 years old. I've gotten a lot done in my life. And I realized it's a lot easier to go bold instead of just busy. Because when I think about it, ants are busy. And I've been busy before, but when I decided to go bold, and like you see, like when I said, oh, I'm moving out of my house, moving into my bus, these are like waves. It's like when you're chasing your dream, imagine jumping into a swimming pool and you want to make a wave. If you just put your pinky toe in the pool, is it going to make a wave? No. But what if we cannonball? Waves. So that's what being bold is. Bold is sending a ripple to the universe, and it tells God, it's like, look, I really want this. And then it bounces back. So you send it out big, and it comes back big. And during times like this, we got to be very, very aware of our frequency, our energy, and what we consume. Are we high frequency entrepreneurs who are connected, or are we low frequency entrepreneurs who are trying to Like, you know, when you talk on the phone and you can't hear somebody, you know, there's not a good connection. It's like, who do we want to be? Do we want to have the good connection, or do we want to have the kind of, what'd you say? What'd you say? So I try to be a high frequency entrepreneur. And the first way to do that is this simple concept of you are what you eat. And by eat, I don't mean just food. I mean consuming in general. Are you consuming high frequency or low frequency stuff? Like all of you guys, y'all are already on the right path because y'all are here, Entrepreneur University. Y'all are got in the community. It's positive vibes. But you know, sometimes when we wake up in the morning, we're going on the social media, or we're going on the news because the news is so negative, and there's nothing more addictive than this negative news. It's like, it's really the way our bodies are wired. It's we're trained to be in survival. For example, if you're driving down the street and on this side of the street is a car wreck, and on this side of the street is the most beautiful sunset, and we're driving down the street, and then we see the police lights, and we're like looking at that, and then everybody's slowing down and they're looking at the car accident and wonder what's going on. It's very hard to not look at the car accident when the sunset's just right there and it's so beautiful. But the sunset isn't going to save our lives, and we're programmed to look at the dangerous things. And that also becomes a form of entertainment as well, but that's just the way we're programmed. But if we're watching this news and we're watching the negativity, and if we're watching all the conspiracy theories and all that, we all probably have gone down those rabbit holes. But it's important for us to get out of it and become that high frequency entrepreneur, because we see what we're looking for. And that's a very simple concept. But if I'm looking at the negativity, that's what I'll see, and then that's what I'll be. So how I've achieved things in my life as an entrepreneur is almost as like a delusional optimist. For example, like right now, I'm chasing like my biggest dream I've ever chased, and that's to become a basketball player. And to be honest, I'm short, and my whole life I've been short and I've been overweight. So I buried that dream. But it's my dream. My heart says, Charlie, you should be a superstar basketball player. My head says, no, that's not very realistic. But my heart is just screaming like, no, chase your dream. And so when I'm chasing my dream, I'm always looking for ways it's going to be easy. If I ask for easy, I'll find easy. If I ask for hard, I'm going to find hard. A lot of times when we're starting our big, bold, crazy dreams, we go into it and we're like, especially as entrepreneurs, we say, oh man, this is going to be hard. I'm going to have to grind. Oh, like I've got to like be intense and angry, and like that intensity, like, I got to grind. I mean, if that's what we're thinking, that's what we're going to get. But what if we say, I want it to be easy? And then you sometimes just go throughout life and you just see some people achieve stuff so easily. And I just always wondered, how can I do that? And so here I am chasing my basketball journey, and I'm not good at basketball, but I said, you know what? I'm going to win MVP of the NBA Celebrity All-Star Game. And I broke it down like this. Okay, I'm gonna, let me get my basketball. In the NBA, I'm going to hit 8 shots in that Celebrity All-Star game. 8. Is that hard or easy? Well, if I were to go to the basketball court right now and shoot 8 shots and make them, I would say that's easy. So I'm looking for the ways, okay, all I got to do is make 8. That's easy. My grandmother can make 8 shots. So as entrepreneurs, I want us to, very first thing for us to do is say, our big, bold dream, it's going to be easy. And let's look for the ways it will be easy. So I wake up, and yes, I work hard every day. But I work hard with a smile and color. And I've like gone back to my inner child. And that fun, playful frequency is attracting so much. And it's like when I talk about frequency and I talk about dreams, I want to break down a little bit of quantum physics so you'll see like there's actually some science behind what I'm talking about, because when we feel certain things, we attract certain things. And the basics of law of attraction and quantum physics, which previously they were 2 separate worlds. Science is over here and law of attraction is just like some hippies talking about whatever. But now they've combined, because the quantum physicists, they did a test where they took a rock. It's a quantum particle, but let's call it a rock, okay? A little piece of matter. And imagine this. They take this particle and they shoot it at this wall. And this wall has 2 doors in it, okay? This test was called the double slit test. So they shoot the atomic particle at the wall and it goes through both doors at the same time. The scientists were like, that's impossible. That's not how this universe works. How could this rock be over there and over there at the same time? Well, they discovered that that atomic particle is not a piece of matter. Instead, it's a wave. So, say you were to drop a rock into a lake. The rock is here, but the wave that comes off of the rock is over there and over there, and it just keeps on going out there. So everything in this universe is made up of atomic particles, so that means everything in this universe is a wave, and that means if everything is a wave, we're all connected. Because if I'm here and you're there, and we're all waves, and what we want, we're all connected to it. And this is where the law of attraction comes into it, and science has proven. So they took that double slit test. They took that wall, and they said, okay, let's investigate this just a little bit further. So they put a camera, an instrument, to study just one of the doors on the wall. They shoot that atomic particle at the wall, and instead of going through both, it just went through the one where the camera was. Now, hold on. So you're telling me that the scientists, when they look at one of the doors, it tells the atomic particle to just go that way, just by looking, just by observing. And then they did the same thing on the other door. They put the camera over there, and then it went that way. And then they took the camera away completely, shot it, and went through both. Now, you might be wondering, how did they know it went through both? It's because behind the wall was a screen where it landed, and they had the camera on the screen, so it wasn't on the 2 doors. Okay, so this is like a massive, massive discovery of modern science. That human, us, where we look affects where everything in this world is made up of goes. That's the law of attraction. So They also did another test, and this will blow your guys' minds. This is proof that we're all connected. So they did a test. The military in the United States actually did this test, and it's been done thousands and thousands of times. They took a man, they swabbed his DNA, like they took the saliva, they put it in a petri dish, and they put it in another part of the room. And they put an instrument on him to read the field coming off of him, his energy field. And then they put another instrument on the petri dish reading the energy coming off the petri dish. So they had this man watch an emotional video where he would feel something. When I say feel, it's always in here. It would be very emotional or very funny or very exciting. And they tracked his chart of his energy coming off of his body. Well, the instrument on the other side of the room with the petri dish is the same exact tracking. They're like, hold on, how are these connected? Because they're separate. So then they took the petri dish, they put it in another part of the building. Same thing. Then they took the petri dish and they took it 350 miles away. Same exact thing. It's not even traveling, it's simultaneously connected. This is quantum physics. So if I am here and something that's a part of me is 350 miles away, it can feel me. Have you ever called somebody or thought about somebody and then they call you? Like, that's this communication that's happening, very similar to a cell phone, but like the universe cell phone. And I've been able to do this with my dreams because everything in my life, like, I turned my head off and turned my heart on, and I allowed me to feel what it was like to have it. And I would like look and focus and even doing the work and showing up and working hard. All that is like sending out the signals that this is what I want. And then it like manifests in crazy ways. I mean, me becoming a Nike athlete, I would write down in my notebook every single day, I'm going to be a Nike athlete. And that's the craziest dream ever. Because I was 300 pounds and all my friends thought that my dream was crazy. But I said, I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. Now, when you want to attract something in your life scientifically, you can feel what it feels like today, and that helps it come. So what I did was I asked myself one simple question. I said, what do Nike athletes have? They have Nike commercials and they have Nike clothes. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make a fan-made Nike commercial. And I was like, that's how much I believe in my dream. And I was like, Nike's going to see it. And I would tell my friends and family, I said, it's going to be easy to be a Nike athlete. They're like, Charlie, like, you don't play a sport. I was like, but I'm a dreamer athlete. Like, Nike needs a dreamer athlete. And to me, it made so much sense that I didn't need anybody else to validate my dream. I believed enough for everybody. So I needed a videographer who can make a Nike commercial. I had retired from the music industry because I was 300 pounds. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and I was knocked down to rock bottom. And that's rock bottom is actually like a good place, because that's when we start asking for miracles. Where when things are good, we sometimes are realistic, but when everything's been ripped away and when you're broken, all you're left with is your dream and your truth. And you start asking for miracles, and you start needing and feeling, I need something amazing to happen. And that's when I decided I'm going to chase my dream. Because if I'm about to die, I need to chase the thing or become the thing I always wish I would become, and that was an athlete, because I buried that dream when I was a little kid. And I was actually wearing this hoodie right here when I made this film, and this is my lucky hoodie. I made this fan-made Nike commercial as like my law of attraction monument of like I needed a miracle. And I found a videographer because I wrote down in my notebook, I said, today's the day I'm going to find my videographer. And he walked through my front door that day. He was hanging out with my roommate, and it was unbelievable. The situation is a whole crazy story. But I just wrote down, I'll show you something real quick. So this is my magical notebook. Like this is like, people say, why is your notebook so big? And I say, well, I got big dreams. And I write all my dreams down in my notebook. And I take this everywhere I go, and I teach people how to dream because I know the power of writing your dreams down and feeling, that delusional feeling of what it feels like to have your dream come true. And that's what I did with the Nike commercial. I wrote down my videographer was going to come into my life. That same day he walked through my front door. And then I was like, man, we're going to make a Nike commercial. And he said, okay. He thought I was a little crazy. I said, no, like, I'm going to be a Nike athlete. He said, whatever you say, dude. Like, like he just looked at me as I was crazy, but I was like, trust me, like Nike's going to see this and they're going to want to sign me. And I want to actually show y'all the video of the fan-made Nike commercial. Mr. Video Guy behind the screen over at Entrepreneur University, can you play my fan-made Nike commercial for everybody watching? I pretty much had everything you can imagine in life. $1 million businesses, world tours, #1 albums. We even won a Grammy. I left it all. When I was 8, I had this dream. But as you get older, society tells you what's realistic. You see, I wanted to be an athlete, but I was a chubby kid. It didn't matter to society what I was passionate about. It only mattered what I could realistically accomplish. I had everything anyone could ever dream of. But the bigger my business got, the more I buried my dream. And one day, I cracked. I became over 300 pounds. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Despite everything going wrong, the most amazing people walked into my life at the right time. But in the end, I had to figure it out by myself. When you're broken, all you have left is your truth. I left my company, my friends, my city. I reinvented my entire life. I had to go back to that 8-year-old dream of mine. I will be an athlete. My story isn't over yet. Wow, thank you so much for playing that. That video, I mean, it was magic how it all came together. We spent about $350 total to create that video, which is unheard of. Because a commercial like that, if Nike were to make it, would cost a couple $100,000. And it all just divinely came into my life because I believed so big and I went bold in my dream that everything started aligning perfectly. Perfect alignment, like magic, like 1 + 1 = 1,000. I can't take all the credit for that because there was something bigger than me. It was the universe and it was God. But I was rewarded, and I've been rewarded so much in my life because I just jumped into the deep end of my dream so big, and I believe it's going to be easy. And there's this quantum physics experiment that they did that actually explains the alignment that I'm talking about. So the quantum physicists, they actually in Russia, they did a test where they took a test tube and they put it in a vacuum. So there's nothing in it except light particles. And light particles acted normal. They're just random. Normal acting light particles, which are also photons. Everything in this world, again, is made up of these atomic particles, which are also light particles. And then they took this test tube and they put human DNA in the test tube. How did the light particles act in the test tube? This is crazy. Like, this is crazy. When we talk about the stars aligning, this is actually the scientific experiment that describes it. So the human DNA changed how light particles acted. And this is revolutionary because traditional science says, oh, we're us and everything else is them and it's separate. But the light particles formed around the human DNA, like it aligned, so the human DNA affected light particles. So the next part of the experiment was them removing the human DNA. Well, did the light particles go back to being random? No, they did not. They stayed in the formation as if the human DNA was still there. So it's like we can have an effect on something even if we're not there. And that's that stars aligning. That's that feeling and the power of the human DNA. And the heart affects the human DNA based upon feelings, because if somebody feels love, or if somebody feels joy, somebody feels ease, and oh, it's going to be easy, and oh, I'm so happy, and oh, I'm on a winning streak, their DNA actually loosens up. Like, this is science. Like, our feelings change our DNA, whether it's tight or loose. And what do we want in our lives? We want that nice, relaxed, happy DNA. So if our DNA is affecting everything in this world, and our heart affects our DNA, that's why I wake up every single morning and I say to myself, I'm on a winning streak. And people laugh at me and they're like, Charlie, you're goofy. I'm like, no, like, this is my secret to creating my dreams. I'm going to wake up in the morning, I'm going to say, I'm on a winning streak because I woke up this morning. I'm on a winning streak because I can call my mom and have a phone conversation with her. She's alive and healthy. I'm on a winning streak because I got a big old gallon of water for only $1. That's a winning streak. That's a lot of fluid for only $1. So I do this winning streak and I tune my frequency and I tune my heart, and then all the things start aligning in my life, and then I go big and bold and I do a cannonball into the pool, and I do that with like the Nike commercial. And what happened with all this delusional optimism, all this belief, all this crazy dreams? Nike calls me. They watched the video, which magically came together for $350, and the guy walking in my front door, And when Nike called me, I was freaking out. I'm jumping up and down. I'm like, oh my God, like my friends are not going to believe this. Nike called me. And Nike said, we want to fly you up to Beaverton, Oregon. That's where their headquarters are here in America. And they said, we got a big thing to tell you. They said, you inspired us to change the marketing of our entire company. This dreamer athlete concept is going to be our new direction. And they created the biggest advertisement they've ever created, and they named it after me, Dream Crazy. That was the name of the advertisement. They featured me in it. It was a Super Bowl commercial. We won an Emmy, which is a big award for film and television. And I used to write down in my big notebook, I'm going to be a Nike athlete, and I'm going to be in a commercial with LeBron James and Serena Williams. And LeBron James and Serena Williams were in that commercial. Like, this is the power of dreaming big. This is the power of those stars aligning. And this is the power of believing I'm so connected to everything I want. And this is the power of being on that winning streak. And this is the power of looking at the sunset instead of the car wreck. This is the power of knowing you are what you eat. And as an entrepreneur, am I a high frequency entrepreneur or a low frequency entrepreneur? Because as an entrepreneur, I want to connect. If everything in this world is a wave, do I reach far or do I reach a little? I'm trying to reach far. So when I want something, it's connecting to so many other waves out there. This is not opinion. This is science. Law of attraction is now backed by science, and I've been doing it my entire life. And that's why at the video at the beginning of this speech, you can see why he's done a lot. It's because I believe bigger. I dream crazy. I wake up on a winning streak. I take this inner child, and this is, you know what? This is going to be the last thing I leave you guys with. And it's this superhero concept. And y'all might be looking at me like, wow, he's so colorful, and wow, he's got the bus and all this. Listen, I used to be in the music industry. I was not colorful at all. I was angry. I was low frequency. I was in fear. I was negative. I wasn't always this way. But when I got away from the negative, I let my inner child come back to life. I was able to gain custody of my inner child who I had buried, and my inner child wanted to be an athlete, wanted to just be a basketball player. And they did a study, and this is really interesting, guys, and this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. This is going to change your life. This one simple thing. They did a study with 3 groups of kids. They took the first group. They put them in a room to solve a puzzle that was unsolvable. You can't solve it. They wanted to see how long these kids would last in the room trying to solve something unsolvable. First group of kids, they go in there, they give up after 5 minutes. You know, that's pretty predictable. I'd probably give up after 5 minutes too. Like, it's impossible. All right, I give up. So then they took the second group of kids, and they said to him, what's your favorite superhero? One of the kids said, Spider-Man. And so the instructor said to the kid, okay, I need you to act like Spider-Man. And I need you to be a superhero and solve this puzzle. That kid didn't stay in there 5 minutes. That kid stayed in there 20 minutes. Wow. Wow. Because we all know chasing our dreams sometimes feels like an unsolvable puzzle. But if we act like a superhero, we endure and last a lot longer in our pursuit of our dreams. Very interesting. Now, the third group of kids, they asked each one of them, what's your favorite superhero? And one of them said Dora the Explorer. One of them said Spider-Man. And with this group of kids, they gave like costumes. Now, this is big. This is real big. Because this group of kids, they did not last 20 minutes. They lasted an hour. All because they were dressed up as their superhero. Now, if the phone went out, because I saw it had a little delay, the third group of kids, they had them dress up as the superhero, and they lasted an hour trying to solve the unsolvable puzzle. So what I do for myself, and what I would ask you to do for yourself, is to dress up, to come up with a superhero name. My superhero name is Charlie Rocket. That's the name I gave myself so I could become an athlete. I gave myself that name at 300 pounds. I wear my bandana. This is my outfit. And I act like a superhero. And the most important thing as somebody who's dressing up and acting like a superhero is to declare your dream and declare it publicly. The root origin of the word abracadabra in Hebrew means, as I speak, I create. So I speak every single day. I declare my dreams to my friends, to my family. I do it on social media. I do it in my notebook. I declare my dreams in my notebook every single day. And I tell people, and then that attracts other people who have similar dreams, and then we help each other. And all this dream and energy and frequency and the endurance of the superhero, it all comes together. And I even created an app called Dreamer that allows us to declare our dream and connect with other people who have dreams. And imagine a social media that's just based on dreams. That's it. That's all we're talking about, and connecting with each other so we could work together. And it's this dream ecosystem of everybody who's a high frequency entrepreneur. And this app is about to come out, and I want y'all to go to the website and register your username so when the beta test comes out, you could have your username. So I want you to go to dreamer.app. That's the website. Go on there, register. This ecosystem is going to connect us all, where we're declaring our dreams, where we're connecting in the high energy. We're all coming together. I'm Charlie Rocket. I'm chasing my dream, a crazy dream. I'm going to be a basketball player. I want your dreams to come true. I want you to be bold. I want you to be a superhero. I want you to be on a winning streak. I want you to be a delusional optimist. I want you to be a high frequency entrepreneur who's operating from the heart, not just the head. I want you to attract and align every bit of magic in this universe, because we're all working hard every day. But if we just add a little bit of magic, we can live the dream, not just chase the dream. Thank you, Entrepreneur University, excuse me. Thank you, Entrepreneur University. You'd think after a year I would get that right. I love you guys. I can't wait to come back to Europe when the quarantine is over. I'm going to come see y'all. We're going to bring the Dream Machine tour to Europe. I can't wait to see you all again. Follow me on Instagram @Charlie. Follow me on TikTok @Charlie. Somebody just gave me the name @Charlie on TikTok yesterday. So I don't have anything on there, but you could be my first follower. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Keep me updated with all of your dreams. Reach out to me on the DM. I'm excited, guys. The Dream Machine Tour, we got to make people dream again. And it starts right here with you guys. This is day 3 of the tour. Thank you, guys.